Hello, everybody. The world, as we know, is transforming at a rapid pace, and hence, in this dynamic world, it's inevitable for us to transform ourselves not only to survive but to excel. Personal transformation. It is how we change who we are, what we do, and the life that we lead. Many a times, we get scared of the changes happening around us due to our past life experiences and how society may perceive it. And that limits our growth and personal transformation. During the initial years of my career, I was a part of hospitality industry. I also love to cook and explore new recipes. And hence, today, I would like to share my recipe of personal transformation with you all. This recipe has three major ingredients and a special ingredient that may or may not be accessible or available to everyone. The first ingredient is curiosity. We only start growing old the day curiosity starts dying within us. As human beings, we usually tend to focus more on what has happened and not much on why it happened. As a kid who was born in a family with many engineers and my own personal interest around cooking, I decided one day to explore the taste of electricity. Now, I strongly suggest not to try this at home, but I did. When I was very young, one day I took a screwdriver and inserted it in a plug point, switched it on, and tried licking the metal rod. Now, I don't remember this story because it reminds me of my experiment with curiosity. I remember this because of what happened after that. The moment my body came in contact with the metal rod, I was thrown back with a force and a tingling sensation of electricity running throughout my body. I fell down on the floor shivering. But even at that time, I had a profound sense of achievement because I had finally tasted it. However, before I could share my excitement with my parents, they came running after hearing the thud, and what followed was a nice thrashing. This made me realize how the actions and reactions of your near and dear ones can either curb or feed our sense of curiosity. Studies show that as kids, we start off extremely curious, but it lasts for only a few years after we start our formal schooling. The more we grow, the more we get conscious of people judging us. Unfortunately, our education system predominantly works on ranking and cutoffs, and it only contributes to this fear of not trying anything different or new. It tries to make us comfortable to follow what has already been discovered, and it instills in us the habit of not asking too many questions. Now, I personally have known many inspiring teachers, and of late, there have been a lot of observable changes in the Indian education sector, which promotes creativity and curiosity. Time and again, we hear that curiosity killed the cat. However, the truth is, curiosity may or may not kill the cat, but complacency surely will. The second ingredient is the right mentoring. One needs a mentor whom one has to trust completely. At various stages of your life, we come across many people who inspire us, but we need to find a mentor who can not only inspire us, but can handhold or push us towards being the better versions of ourselves. The trust between mentor and mentee is said to be the cornerstone of an effective mentoring relationship. However, it can take time and sometimes a little effort to build the trust and the rapport, but it's worth the trouble. Because a good mentor will not only encourage you and guide you, but also try to put you in challenging and tough situations and show no remorse about it, as their only intention is to bring the best out of you. In my professional journey, I got an opportunity to have one such person as my boss, whom I took almost 2 years to tolerate. And one fine day, I decided to take a chance and trust him with his plans for me because I knew that I am not going to lose anything but only learn many more things if I trust this man. Irrespective of what I feel about him, this person used to be very strict about the finest details of every task I used to do and about the timelines as well. He used to always push me to take up responsibilities which I never believed I could take care of. And somewhere deep down, I hated him for that. Yet, surprisingly, after all the things we both went through, I realized that I had actually become someone who was more confident, disciplined, and creative without even knowing about it. The right mentor is the one who inspires, guides, understands, and encourages you to have a self belief, reminding you from time to time that your calling must exceed each of the negative emotions you have about yourself and the person guiding you. The third ingredient is to have a cheerleader. When you are in the process of transformation, you tend to seek recognition and appreciation for the efforts you are putting, for all the hardships you are going through. When you change, the people around you will react. A few may support you, but most of the people will actively work to resist you. Hence, it is crucial to build up your inner strength and realize that you don't need anyone's approval. If they give it to you, that's a gift. But if they don't, you know what you are doing and why you are doing so. And your only need is for having a cheerleader. Yes, in today's world, you should be your strongest cheerleader for yourself. Most of the greatest thinkers and doers in the history were ridiculed and chastised when they created the change. When you better yourself, you should expect the same. That's just a proof that you are on the right path. The fourth special ingredient, which I mentioned earlier, that everyone might not have access to, it is the pain and grief. Many of us have tasted failure and grief in our lives, whether professional or personal. Sometimes it shatters us to the extent that we somehow convince ourselves that there is nothing left in life to look up to. However, various studies done in this area has pointed out otherwise. The concept of post-traumatic growth suggests that in the long-term aftermath of traumatic events, individuals may develop a positive characteristics such as increased appreciation, a strong sense of meaning and purpose of life, more authentic and intimate relationship, and a greater sense of confidence and competence. We cannot change anything unless we accept it. Therefore, the first step is to acknowledge that a change in our life is required. And the next step is to work sincerely towards it. Like success, we need to embrace failure and pain as well. Once we learn to do that, we will be less affected by trivial worries and more appreciative of essential things. Such experiences make us more sensitive, self reliant, open, and spiritual in our everyday lives. It makes us the most integrated, the whole version of ourselves. Sowing pain and grief to make us better version of ourselves is like reaping a destiny. Personal transformation is the result of blending the basic ingredients: curiosity, proper mentoring, cheerleading, and alongside with a magical ingredient, pain and grief. I hope this unique recipe of mine will help you transform your own self as well as the others around you, which will ultimately move you towards pursuing the greater good in life. Thank you very much.